You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Arya Whitner, and this is your NXT update for Wednesday, May 10, 2017. First of all, I do want to wish a happy 31st birthday to my brother Brian, who will celebrate his birthday this coming Saturday. Go ahead and harass him on social media and wish him a happy birthday. Or just harass him, Either way, I'm fine with it. NXT this week. We kicked things off with Aleister Black with his fourth televised NXT match. Don't email me, don't tweet me telling me that he wrestled on the UK tournament final show. I know he did. I'm not counting that because the UK tournament is not NXT. Just getting that out of the way now. Anyway, Aleister Black took on Cesar Bononi. Now you might be wondering yourself, who the hell is he? Well, he's very tall. This was a show, ironically, the show ended up being built around two of the smallest people in the company, even though the show, this particular episode featured a lot of really tall people. And Cesar Bononi is one of them. And maybe this should tell you about, that being tall doesn't matter anymore, because Aleister Black beat the crap out of him. Because being tall, all that means is Black has more places to kick you. Bononi actually got a little bit of offense before Black caught him with a jumping knee to the face. He followed that with a knee to the back, hit the Black mass, picked up the win. Aleister Black is now 4-0. Let the Goldberg chants begin. Then, I'm pretty sure there had to have been something with Ember Moon tape, some sort of angle or whatever, that because she got injured and now is off TakeOver, they had to edit off the show because we got an absurdly large number of video packages this week, like more so than usual. We started off with the highlights of last week's clusterfuck of a number one contenders battle royal. It, of course, concluded with Asuka interfering, ending it prematurely. They showed Ember Moon's suicide dive to her imaginary opponent, which injured her. And then they showed exclusive footage. I mean, I'm sure, TMZ and CNN and Fox News were all trying to get this footage, but only WWE.com was able to find this exclusive footage of William Regal confronting Asuka last week backstage and telling her that it would now be a fatal four-way match. Asuka actually seemed concerned. However, maybe she should be less concerned now because it's going to be a triple threat because Ember's out of it. They showed Ember backstage. She vowed to be better than ever when she returns. They officially announced Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne for the WWE UK title at TakeOver and used that to show a video for Dunne. Later on, they showed a package for Bate. They are literally the same video packages they have showed for Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne a dozen times on this show already. They're very good video packages. I'm not even putting that past them. If WWE does one thing well, they do video packages extremely well. I mean, they can make Shannon Moore versus Funaki seem like must-see television. But, again, we've seen these already. Anyway, this isn't... It's kind of weird because, spoiler alert, fast forward like a minute if you don't want to hear what I'm going to talk about. It's funny because they shot the angle for this match, the Bate Dunne match, at the UK TV show tapings that aren't going to air until I think later this month, the beginning of June, meaning that they shot a number one contenders match and the angle for it after the actual match is going to that's going to air after the match actually takes place. It's just weird. And so I imagine, because there's going to be matches with Tyler Bate as champion on the show, I imagine that means he's probably going to retain at TakeOver Chicago, but who knows? We got the Ruby Riott video package. This was also good. Showed pictures and videos of her as a child. Brought it around to her today. She was sitting in a tattoo parlor and explained that each of her tattoos tells a story about her, and said that the NXT Women's title will be her validation. Next up, let's sit down with Nikki Cross. She refused to allow the sound guy to put a microphone on her, and instead she held the clip mic in her hands and talked right into it. She then was playing with a boom mic over her head. This was done to show how crazy she is. I should point out she does not need a microphone, as she was perfectly content with screaming right into the camera and demanding to know where her championship was. It's weird. I've never heard her talk before, so I don't know if the accent she's using was fake. It was weird because I'm sure there's people sitting out there who were just smacked themselves in the head because they can't believe how stupid that question was. But yeah, like, I don't know, was her accent fake, or is that actually what her voice sounds like? I honestly have no clue. I mean, I guess until I know otherwise, I'll just assume it's real, but it just wasn't the voice I expected to come out of her mouth. Let's just say that. Drew McIntyre was being really tall backstage. He said he's disappointed he's not included in the number one contenders match tonight, and then talked about taking what he wants. When up walks Wesley Blake, of all people, who told him to leave. Apparently that is going to lead to a match. Wesley Blake, who hasn't been seen in like 6 months. Speaking of people who haven't been seen in 6 months, the Velveteen Dream is coming, who, if you don't remember, it's Patrick Clark doing a Prince gimmick. Again, out of that last season of Tough Enough, the only 2 people who are being used are Patrick Clark and Daria Baronato. I should point out that's at least better than the season of Tough Enough before that, where the only person used was Ariani, who was the first one eliminated and was famous for saying that her favorite match of all time was Melina versus Alicia Fox. After commercial, DIY was already in the ring. You know, as an old school wrestling fan, I'm led to believe that them already being in the ring means they're going to lose. However, this wasn't a match. This was just a promo. They said that the Authors of Pain may be the biggest and the baddest, but they have what DIY wants, and that's the NXT titles. Ciampa pointed out that they never got their fair title rematch. Gargano reiterated what they said last week, that the line for title shots starts behind them. Out came Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli, of all people. No, really. And they had promo time. And then they said they want a title shot, and the line for title shots starts behind them. I didn't know being 0 for a million counted to get a title shot. Anyway, DIY said that Moss and Sabatelli just crossed the line and threw them out of the ring. Remember when TNA had that bad cross the line theme? Anyway, that led to an impromptu tag team match playa where DIY won. Moss and Sabatelli got some offense. Tino is a second-round NFL draft pick, by the way. He played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, allegedly. And apparently he also drives a Maserati, which is supposed to get him big'em heat. I think it'd be more heat if he was Steve Mazzagatti, myself. Anyway, Mr. Regal came out after the match, and he was about to make a tag team title match for TakeOver when Paul Ellering came out and said that the Authors of Pain will end DIY's career. Regal said that was a chance he was willing to make, or chance he was willing to take, so Ellering said DIY's blood would be on his hands, And Mr. Eagle replied to that by making AOP versus DIY for the NXT tag titles in a ladder match at TakeOver. Cassius Ohno was backstage looking almost as tall as Drew McIntyre. He said he fell down when he lost to Bobby Roode a few months back, but is going to stand back up. Up walked Andrade Cien Almas, who called Ohno Perro, and Ohno ripped on him for partying after the shows. Anyway, they made a match for next week. Roderick Strong and Hideo Itami were both interviewed just as they were about to go to the ring for their match. They both said they would win. And that led to the main event, the number one contender's opportunity, Roderick Strong versus Hideo Itami. This was a physical match and was yet another really good NXT main event. And I know a lot of NXT TV shows, for the most part, it's 54 minutes and about 38 minutes of it are skippable on a good week. This is another one of those weeks where skip the first 38 minutes, watch the main event. Really good, really physical, a strong main event, no pun intended. It starts slow, you're not expecting them to kill each other off the bat, but starts slow. They put each other in a lot of holds. Itami was put in an arm bar on the arm where he had his shoulder surgery on, and you wonder if he's ever going to get revenge on Kevin Owens for injuring him 2 years ago. I'm going to bet they never bring it up ever again. Strong took over, and they fought outside the ring. Strong heaved Itami back first into the ring apron, which, if you forget, is the hardest part of the ring. Itami went all kick crazy, so Strong hit the Olympic slam for a 2 count, got another 2 count after a backbreaker to the top rope, and they chopped the hell out of each other while on the top rope. And so Itami hit a Falcon Arrow off of the top rope. Somehow, someway, Strong kicked out. Strong connected with a few more hard shots, but Itami dropped him with a knee strike. Hideo hit the corner boot, a corner drop kick, and then Roderick Strong crawled over, dragged himself up to his feet using Itami's knee pads, Itami's tights, Itami's shoulders, and basically dared Itami to finish him. He took one swing, Itami ducked, hoisted him in the air, dropped him with a go to sleep for the 1, the 2, and the 3. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Hideo Itami will now go to TakeOver in 10 nights to challenge the glorious NXT champion Bobby Roode for the NXT championship. After the match, Itami dragged Strong to his feet, shook his hand and raised it, allowing Strong to bask in the standing ovation they were getting after the match. And that does it for the show. Believe it or not, next week is the go-home show for TakeOver already. Yes, they had 7 weeks, and the last 3 weeks, or the last week or two, is really where all the build has been coming from. But I want to thank you all for listening. Until then, have a great week. Adios.